This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Pet-Free Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petrie family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invites you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us about another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective Sherlock Holmes.
It began on a summer evening in 1906. I'd been for a long walk in the park, I remember, when I returned to Baker Street and entered our rooms. Holmes looked up at me with a twinkle and spoke.
You look positively glowing with health, Watson.
Well, I had a splendid walk, my dear fellow. You should have come with me. The park was looking particularly beautiful.
Well, old chap, during your absence, I've decided to write another monograph.
Oh, well, what's the subject this time?
Occupational liability to murder. For instance, the mortality rate is naturally high among policemen and detectives. Physicians are murdered with fair regularity, but the murder of a dentist is rare. And who ever heard of a murdered veterinary surgeon?
That's quite true, but what's the occasion for this little homily?
I've been browsing over my newspaper clippings.
Yeah?
You recall ever hearing of a murdered tobacconist, Watson?
No, I can't say that I do.
Oh, why? And yet my clippings inform me that no less than 3 tobacconists have been murdered in the past 6 months, and all the murders have occurred in the same small shop at the East End of London. Now, why do you suppose 3 tobacconists would be murdered in the same shop? Come now, fellow. Give me a logical solution to the problem, will you?
Well, let me see. You say that the shop's in the East End?
Yes.
Is it near the river?
As it happens, it's on the water's edge.
And supposing the tobacconist's shop was the headquarters of a smuggling ring. Perhaps boxes of cigars were unloaded from the dock and brought to the shop. Cigars containing pearls or opium or something.
Watson, my dear fellow, you're doing splendidly. You must walk in the park more frequently. You're positively scintillating.
Oh, no, you're making fun of me.
I'm sure you're not.
You're expecting anyone home?
No, probably a visitor from Mrs. Hudson. Go on with your fascinating theory. Now, why are 3 tobacconists murdered?
Well, because they know too much. Perhaps they demand a share in the profits, so the head of the ring decides to kill them.
Plausible enough, Watson. I really must congratulate you. I can see that I'm very lucky in having a biographer with such a lively imagination.
Thanks very much.
Come in.
Imagination. Oh, hello, Lestrade.
I'm glad to see you.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Not at all, my dear fellow. Come along, sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Anything remarkable on hand?
No, Miss Holmes. Nothing very particular.
Then tell me all about it, Lestrade.
Can't hide anything from you, can I, sir? Yes, there is something on my mind, and no mistake.
And it concerns the 3 murdered tobacconists, I see. Splendid.
Now, how the blazes did you know that? Yes, that's pure magic.
Not at all, my dear Watson. It's simple deduction. Observe the 5 cigars peering out of Lestrade's breast pocket. They are of a far superior quality to his usual brand. Obviously, the scene of his latest investigation has proffered certain, well, shall we say, professional perquisites. Am I right, Lestrade?
Of course you are. Careful one, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Ross. My pipe.
Well, how about you, Doctor? Oh, thank you, Lestrade. Thank you. Coronas.
And now, Inspector, tell me about the murdered tobacconist.
How much do you know about the case?
Just what I've read in the papers.
Well, curiously enough, we were discussing the affair as you walked in, Lestrade. It's a strange business, gentlemen. I only got hold of the old story today when I had a long talk to young Jack Longworth. He's the owner of the shop.
In relation to Gerald Longworth, the taller member of Parliament who battled so successfully against the slum clearance bill?
His son, Mr. Holmes. Nice young fellow, too. When his father died, he inherited this shop along with a lot of other property in the East End. Well, how big a shop is it, Lestrade? Oh, just hole in the wall, Doctor, like all the other shops in that part of London. Young Mr. Longworth tells me he first rents it to a man by the name of George Grillet. He lives there with his daughter Lily and made quite a nice go out of the shop. 6 months ago, when Jack Longworth was abroad, George Grillet has a stroke and nearly kicks the bucket. Kicks the what? He nearly dies, Doctor. Oh. Kicks the bucket. I remember that.
And then what happened, Lestrade?
Well, while he's in the hospital, his daughter gives up the lease on the shop. A few days later, an Italian takes it over, and a couple of weeks later, he's found with his float cart.
Did you investigate that first murder yourself?
No, Mr. Holmes. It seemed like any of a dozen killings we get in that part of London. A shopkeeper cut up, his till emptied, no clues. Well, who was the next tenant? A Scotchman. bloke by the name of Mackintosh. A few weeks after he moved in, the same thing happened to him. That time, I did go down there, but I couldn't find out nothing.
Was robbery again the apparent motive?
Yes, sir, but the killing wasn't the same. He was strangled with a silk scarf.
Silk scarf, eh? And who was the third tenant? The man who was murdered yesterday?
A Hindu fella. A man by the name of Mukherjee. He takes it over a week last Friday, and yesterday we find him knife through the back and his money gone. Of course, I was down there before you could say Crystal Palace. But once again, I didn't find out nothing. No knife, no fingerprints on the till, no footprints, just a very dead Hindu.
Was young Mr. Longworth the landlord in England when these murders occurred?
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it, Mr. Holmes. He docked at Tilbury yesterday morning. He didn't know nothing about what had been going on.
Well, I imagine he'll have difficulty in renting the shop after 3 murders.
Well, that's just it, Doctor. That's why he comes to me at the yard. George Grillett, his first tenant of the shop, moved back there today with his daughter Lily. And young Mr. Longworth's worried about them. Well, if you ask me, he's more worried about the daughter than he is about old man Grillett.
So the original tenants of the shop are back in residence again, eh? And, what do you want me to do?
Well, I thought perhaps you'd be interested enough to come along with me and look at the shop, Mr. Holmes.
I shall be very glad to, my dear fellow. Let's go at Watson.
All right, sir. Oh, dear, that wretched instrument.
I'll answer it. Hello? Mycroft, how are you? What? Yes. Yes, he's here now. Why, of course. I'll do everything I can, certainly. Let's have dinner together soon, shall we? Splendid idea. All right, goodbye.
Well, was that your brother, Holmes?
Yes. Lestrade, I do think you might have told me the whole truth.
What do you mean, sir?
I thought your visit was prompted by a need for friendly assistance. I didn't realize that you came here virtually on a government order.
Well, it wasn't just quite like that, Mr.
What's
Holmes.
the government got to do with the case, and how does your brother Mycroft fit into the picture?
Not sure yet. But of one thing we make certain, there's obviously a great deal more in this case than Lestrade would have us believe.
Why do you say that, Holmes?
You must bear in mind, old fellow, that occasionally Mycroft is British government.
Nice part of London to take a walk in on a foggy night, ain't it, gentlemen? All our policemen work down here in pairs, you know.
Yes, I don't blame them. It's a vile neighborhood.
There's the shop just ahead of us, with a sign hanging out. Hello. There he is again.
Oh.
See that bearded Hindu skulking off around the corner there?
Oh, yes.
He's been haunting the place ever since I came down here.
So a bearded Hindu haunts the place, eh?
Yes, and yesterday, Holmes, the Hindu proprietor of the shop was murdered.
Exactly.
Well, here we are. I'll go in first.
Depressing looking place, huh?
I'll be out in Jimmy.
That's Lily, George Grillett's daughter. Ducks in with the shop.
Sorry to keep you wet. Oh, it's you, Inspector Lestrade.
Yes, Miss Lily. I brought some gentlemen to see your father. This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure.
How
How do you do, young lady?
Is your dad home?
No, Inspector, he won't be in till after dinner. Went down to the docks, he did, to see about some cigar shipments. Mr. Longworth's here. If you want to see him, we were just having some tea in the back room.
Yes, I'd like these gentlemen to meet him.
Jack, come out in the shop, Jack.
What is it, Lily? Oh, Inspector Lestrade. And this must be Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, I'm sure.
How do you do, sir?
How are you, Mr. Longworth?
I'm very glad the inspector was able to persuade you to come down here, Mr. Holmes. I'm dreadfully worried about this business, particularly since Lily's father insisted on coming back here. I'm afraid they're in great danger, but I can't make Mr. Grillett see it.
Young lady, I wonder if I might ask you a few questions.
Well, of course, Mr. Holmes.
Before your father had his stroke, did he receive any threats concerning his occupancy of the shop?
Well, if he did, he never told me about him. But it wouldn't surprise me. I often told him his biggest enemy is himself. If you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I do, Miss Grillett. When your father had his illness, who decided to give up the lease on the shop?
I did. No money was coming in, and, well, it looked like Dad might be an invalid for life. Of course, I couldn't run the shop by myself. Anyhow, I never did like this part of London. It wasn't the right business for Father.
What was his reaction when you told him to you've given up the lease.
Oh, he was awful angry with me. Said I'd no right to do it without asking him.
By the way, we saw that bearded Hindu again as we walked up just now.
He's been hanging around ever since we came back here, Inspector.
Well, has he actually come into the shop, Miss Griffith?
No, but he keeps walking by and looking in the window. I'm sure if we both went into the back room or left the shop for a little while, well, he'd come right in.
Then I suggest we give him the opportunity he's seeking. Miss Grillet, I wonder if you and Mr. Longworth would mind leaving the shop for a while.
Of course not, Mr. Holmes.
Make your departure rather ostentatious, shall we say, so that he can't help noticing it. Give us half an hour or so and then come back. Perhaps you wouldn't mind going with them, Lestrade.
Mr. Holmes, this is my case.
I know, but in a situation like this, Watson and I work much better alone. We may have to go a little outside the law, and your presence might embarrass us.
You'd never think I was a detective, too, would you?
Very well,
We'll be back in
Mr.
half an hour.
Poor old Lestrade. He gets very touchy as the years roll by.
Yeah, I blame him. I'm leaving him completely in the dark. Come on, Watson, behind the counter. No, my dear fellow, not under it, old chap. We lift the flap. So. Now I suggest we crouch down behind here. Come on, that's it. Have you got your revolver, Watson?
Yes, it's in my pocket.
Good. Meantime, make yourself as comfortable as these cramped quarters will permit. We may have quite a wait ahead of us.
Look, Holmes. There's the Hindu now. Peering through the window.
Revolver handy.
Yes, sir. Here he comes.
All right, Watson.
Put your hands up. I got you covered with this revolver. Now, my man, what are you doing here?
Who are you?
Never mind who I am. Just answer my question.
I do not speak very good English.
तुम हिंदुस्तानी पकड़ नहीं सकता?
सकता है.
तुम इधर आया?
देखने को आस्ती तुम्हारा भाई हमको हुक्म दिया.
तुम्हारा भाई? तुम जा नहीं सकता?
बहुत अच्छा. Salam.
No, you don't, my man. Just you stay where you are.
It's all right, Watson. Let him go. He's on our side.
I wish you'd tell me what in Punda's going on. Who that man was and why you let him go.
He's an investigator from the Foreign Office, old chap. Given his instructions by my brother, Mycroft.
Mycroft?
Yes, old fellow. And when my brother fails to tell me all the facts concerning this case, I begin to think these triple murders have far greater ramifications than we ever dreamed of.
Dr. Watson's story will continue in just a second. Just about time enough for me to mention that any meal becomes a better meal when you serve it with Petri wine. And say, you'll find that Petri California Burgundy and Petri California Sauterne are just made to go with food. That Petri Burgundy is a rich red wine that's bosom pals with any meat or meat dish. Boy, what a flavor. And that Petri Sauterne is the delicate white wine that's just perfect with chicken or with fish. Yes, sir, with food, you just can't beat a good Petri wine. And now back to tonight's new Sherlock Holmes adventure. A puzzling case is occupying the attention of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. 3 murders have taken place in a small tobacconist shop in the East End of London. As we rejoin our story, it's late at night, and Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, accompanied by Inspector Lestrade, are once again walking toward the ill-fated shop.
Well, I don't see that you've accomplished much, Mr. Holmes, except that you just bought me a nice dinner.
We're making progress, Lestrade. If only by the elimination of obvious suspects. But there's a pattern to this case, and that should give us a clue.
Well, how do you mean, Holmes?
My dear fellow, consider the obvious motive of these murders, and particularly observe the results they've obtained.
Well, the motive's the same in all 3 killings. Robbery.
Oh, not Lestrade. Don't let the theft of a few pounds from the till blind you to the real motive.
Look. Here's Miss Grillet now. He's coming out of the shop.
Good evening, Miss Grillet.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Is your father home yet?
Yes, he is, Mr. Holmes. And I can't tell you how anxious I am for you to talk to him. I'm going to meet Mr. Longworth. He's taken me to the music hall. I should be on just after 10. I hope you'll be able to stay with Dad until then.
Well, don't you worry, Miss Grillet. We'll keep an eye on him.
Oh, thanks ever so much. Oh, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Miss Grillett?
Please don't go into our rooms in the back, will you? I've left things in a frightful mess.
I quite understand, Miss Grillett.
Well, ta-ta all. See you later.
Let's go into the shop.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's you, Inspector.
Here, these gentlemen, Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
How do you do, sir?
Good evening. Good evening.
Did you meet young Lily just now?
Yes, she told us she was going out to the music hall with Mr. Longworth.
Yes. I'm afraid we had quite a set to about that. A very strong-willed girl, Lily, very strong-willed.
Am I to assume that you disapprove of your daughter's association with Mr. Longworth?
Yes, of course I do. He's a toff. He's got lots of money. Lily's so blunt she can't see that he's up to no good. I'm pretty sure he's afraid I might find out what's really at the back of these here murders.
And what is your theory, sir?
Well, I'll tell you this in confidence. Got nothing to back it up, I understand. There's been talk of widening the docks around here. That'd make property values go up, you see, of course. Well, young Longworth's been trying to buy up all the other shops along the waterfront here, but they wouldn't sell. If you ask me, he's had these murders done just to frighten people away so that he could buy cheap. Now, I'm not saying that he did the murders himself, you understand, but he planned them. Why, in these parts, it's easy enough any night to get a throat cut for a couple of quid.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad you're here, gents. You see, I just got another warning.
Warning? What do you mean, sir, warning?
Found this note slipped under that door there not 3/4 of an hour ago.
Let me see it, please.
What does it say, Holmes?
I shall call on you at 8:30 tonight. You know what's good for you. You'll be waiting for me alone. Try any funny tricks, you'll go where I sent the rest of them.
Well, that's obviously from the killer.
Possibly. What's the time now?
Look, it's 8:20.
I was hoping you gentlemen would wait in our rooms back of the shop. You can hear what's going on in here, and if he tries any rough stuff, you can pop in and have him.
Just what I was about to suggest myself, Mr. Grillett. Lead the way, will you?
Oh, yes. Just step behind the counter, gents. Through here. Here we are. Not exactly Buckingham Palace back here, but you can make yourselves comfortable, can't you, gents?
Oh, don't you worry about us, Grillett.
Oh, I better turn off the gas. This bloke spot the light under the door in here might smell a rat. Now, there we are. Now, as soon as I see him coming in the shop, I'll knock twice on the door, like this. And that'll give you the signal that he's here. Is that right?
Right, Sir Grillett.
All right, now keep your ears open, gents. I may need your help.
Where are you, Holmes? I can't see a thing.
Over here, Watson.
You know, I've got another theory why Jack Longworth might be at the back of all this. You listening, Holmes?
Yes, I'm listening, old fellow. What is your theory?
Longworth knows that Grillett doesn't approve of his having anything to do with Lily. So when he goes abroad, he leaves instructions to murder the tobacconist. The assassins don't know about Grillett having a stroke, of course, so they keep murdering the wrong fellow.
Well, that makes very good sense, Doctor. What do you say, Mr. Holmes?
Holmes? Holmes? Where are you? Oh, bless my soul, he's disappeared.
No, I haven't. I was just exploring. Shh. That's the signal.
There goes the front door. Somebody's coming. We'd better go in.
Right, Watson, listen.
Take your hands off me, don't you do that? Here, stop me, stop me, help!
We've got to get in there at once.
Open the door. Well, it's locked. Never mind that. Get your shoulders into it. Come on, help me. Come on. Go. Come on, one more.
Poor devil. He's been slashed with a knife. Grillett! Grillett!
Well, the killer got away. I'm going
Now,
after him.
Lestrade, conserve your energy. Your murderer lies there.
But that's Grillett.
Of course it is. Search his pockets, Watson. I think you'll find a blood-stained knife.
Let's have a look. Good Lord. Here's a razor in his pocket. It's covered with blood. You mean to say that he slashed himself?
Let's slip the handcuffs on him, Lestrade. While he's still play-acting, he may be more difficult to handle when he realizes the game's up.
Take your hands off of me.
Come on, quick. Come on, here.
Hey.
Very neat, Lestrade.
Yeah. Well, Now that I've knocked a wounded man out cold, perhaps you'll tell me what's going on, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I'm completely in the dark, too.
Oh, it's very simple, really. Willett has just staged a fake attack on himself. Fool us into believing that someone else is the murderer.
Yeah, but the threatening note he received...
Composed by himself for the occasion.
Yes, but we heard voices. We heard the shop door open.
He heard Grip talking to himself. And as for the shop door, that's how he gave himself away.
Well, how do you mean, Mr. Holmes?
Whenever the shop door opens, there's a bell that jangles. You will notice... So.
Yeah, that's right, there is.
There's no bell jangle when we were in the back room. Willett got us in there, locked the door on us unobtrusively, and staged his little drama.
Yes, but we heard the door creak open and close, Mr. Holmes.
The creak of this flap in the counter would sound exactly the same, my dear fellow. Now listen.
Yes, but why, Holmes? How did you spot that Gillette was a man?
It was obvious from the beginning that since nothing had changed about the shop except the ownership, that the attackers were directed against any tobacconist who was not Gillette himself. Of course, his daughter, Lily, obviously knew what was going on.
Well, I don't see how you figured that one out, Mr. Holmes.
Every remark that she made showed that although she loved her father, she knew his failings. In any case, she gave me the final clue.
Oh, what clue was that?
In very pointedly asking me not to go into the back room of the shop. Of course, she meant the reverse of what she said. I followed her advice when you were explaining your theory to Lestrade.
Well, what did you find, Mr. Holmes?
Miss Gillette had obligingly left a secret door open, a door leading to a passageway that seemed to go down to the waterfront. We'll examine it more thoroughly in a minute.
Yes, but I still don't understand Gillette's motive, Holmes.
Neither do I, old chap. No, I suspect that from the interest of the Foreign Office in the case, this shop has been the headquarters of an espionage ring. I'm afraid the final answer to that question will have to be given by someone else.
Oh, who, Holmes?
By my elder brother, Mycroft. Humiliating, isn't it, Watson?
And what was the final answer to the question, Dr. Watson?
Well, Holmes was right as usual, Mr. Foreman. The shop had been the headquarters of a spy ring operated by Gillette. And many international criminals had been smuggled in England, foreign ships moored up the river.
And did Mr. Gillette hang for his crime?
No, he didn't, my boy. Before he came to trial, he had another stroke and he died.
Probably just as well for his daughter's sake.
Oh, his daughter. Lovely girl.
Did she marry Longworth?
Indeed she did. As a matter of fact, I glanced at her wedding. It was a very wonderful wedding reception. You would have been there yourself, Mr. Foreman. In fact, you'd have liked it very much. They served a pretty good wine.
Was it a Petri wine by any chance?
Oh, well, it was so good it easily might have been.
You mean because Petri wine is the kind of a wine you can't forget?
That's exactly what I do.
Well, that's because the Petri family really knows all there is to know about the fine art of turning luscious, sun-ripened grapes into fragrant, delicious wine. You see, the Petri family's been making wine ever since they started the Petri business way back in the 1800s. And they've been able to hand on down in the family, from father to son, every bit of their skill and experience. That's why Petri wine is so good today, because Petri took time to bring you good wine. And say, don't forget to take a moment yourself and send for your free recipe calendar. Remember, send to Petri Wine, San Francisco 26, California. This offer is intended to apply only in those states and other localities where its acceptance is permissible by law and regulation. And now, Doctor, do you feel like giving us a hint about next week's story?
Yes, I do. Next week, Mr. Foreman, I'm going to tell you a strange adventure that happened to Holmes and me in the West End of London. It concerns the death of a famous actor who was portraying the part of an equally famous man, Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you, Doctor. See you next week. And say, from the news we've had so far today, maybe by next week at this time we'll hear some really good news from Europe.
I certainly hope so, Mr. Foreman. But let us remember the war won't be over when Germany quits. We've still got to lick Japan. And that's going to take a long time. So instead of celebrating when VE Day comes along, let's just strengthen our resolve to support the war more than ever here at home. Keep that war job. Don't leave it till you're released. Keep on buying more and more war bonds and keep them. Don't turn them in. Help all you can with all home front activities and observe all our wartime regulations such as price ceilings. That's the real way to celebrate a victory in Europe, by working harder to end the war in the Pacific.
Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure is written by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher and is based on an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Adventure of the Six Napoleons. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petri Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invites you to tune in again next week, same time, same station. Meanwhile, don't forget to take advantage of our offer of a free recipe calendar.
Oh, the Petri family took the time to bring you such good wine. So when you eat and when you cook, remember Petri wine.
To make good food taste better, remember...
Petri wine.
This is Bill Foreman saying good night for the Petri family. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
So, 221B Baker Street, please, cabby.
The BBC presents The Noble Bachelor by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, adapted for radio by Michael Hardwick, with Carlton Hobbs as Sherlock Holmes and Norman Shelley as Dr. Watson.
It was a few weeks before my marriage, in 1887, during the days when I was still sharing rooms with Sherlock Holmes in Baker Street. I had remained indoors all day, for the weather had taken a sudden turn to rain, with high autumnal winds. The Jezeel bullet, which I had brought back in one of my limbs as a relic of my Afghan campaign, throbbed with dull persistency. With my body in one easy chair and my legs upon another, I had surrounded myself with a cloud of newspapers. And when at last I had saturated myself with the news of the day, I tossed them all aside and lay listless, speculating lazily upon the huge crest and monogram on the envelope upon the table, which awaited my friend's return. Well, Holmes, here's a very fashionable epistle.
Oh, this looks like one of those social summonses which call upon a man either to be bored or to lie.
Oh, come, it may prove to be something of interest after all. Not social, then?
Distinctly professional.
And from a noble client.
One of the highest in England.
My dear fellow, I congratulate you.
I assure you, Watson, without affectation, that the status of my client is a matter of less moment to me than the interest of his case.
Yes, of course, of course.
It's just possible, however, that also may not be wanting in this new investigation. You've been reading the papers diligently of late, have you not?
Looks like it. I've had nothing else to do.
Well, it's fortunate. You will perhaps be able to post me up. I read nothing except criminal news in the agony column. The latter is always instructive. But if you followed recent events so closely, you must have read about Lord St. Simon and his wedding.
Oh, yes, with the deepest interest.
Now, the letter which I hold in my hand is from Lord St. Simon. This is what he says. My dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, Lord Backwater tells me that I may place implicit reliance upon your judgment and discretion. I have determined, therefore, to call upon you and to consult you in reference to the very painful event which has occurred in connection with my wedding. Mr. Lestrade of Scotland Yard is acting already in the matter, but he assures me that he sees no objection to your cooperation, and that he even thinks that it might be of some assistance. I will call at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and should you have any other engagement at that time, I hope you will postpone it, as this is a matter of paramount importance. Yours faithfully, etc. It's dated from Grosvenor Mansions and written with a quill pen. The noble lord has had the misfortune to get a smear of ink upon the outer side of his right little finger.
He says 4 o'clock. It's past 3 now.
Then I have just time, with your assistance, to get clear upon the subject. Turn over those papers and arrange the extracts in their order of time.
Have the goodness to pass me, Mr. Scissors?
Oh, yes. Here you are. And I will take a glance as to who our client is.
Here's one, yes. Yes, I can do very well.
Yes, here he is. Robert Walsingham de Vere St. Simon, second son of the Duke of Balmoral, Born 1846. That makes him 41 years of age. Mature for marriage. Was Under-Secretary for the Colonies in a late administration. They inherit Plantagenet blood by direct descent and Tudor on the distaff side. Well, there's nothing very instructive in all this. I must turn to you, Watson, for something more solid.
Well, I've had very little difficulty in finding what you want. The facts are quite recent. There was a paragraph in one of the society papers. Here it is. There will soon be a call for protection in the marriage market, for the present free trade principle appears to tell heavily against our home product. One by one, the management of the noble houses of Great Britain is passing into the hands of our fair cousins from across the Atlantic. Lord St. Simon, who has shown himself for over 20 years proof against the little god's arrows, has now definitely announced his approaching marriage with Miss Hattie Doran, the fascinating daughter of a Californian millionaire. Miss Doran is an only child, and it is currently reported that her dowry will run to considerably over 6 figures.
Indeed.
As it is an open secret that the Duke of Balmoral has been compelled to sell his pictures within the last few years, and as Lord St. Simon has no providence, save the small state of Birchmore, it is obvious that the Californian heiress is not the only gainer by the alliance.
Anything more?
Oh, yes, plenty. Yes, there's a note here to say that the marriage would be an absolutely quiet one at St. George's, Hanover Square, and that the party would return to the furnished house at Lancaster Gate, which has been taken by Mr. Aloysius Doran. 2 days later, Westminster Gazette, that's Wednesday last, October the 17th, there's a curt announcement that the wedding had taken place. Well, those were all the notices that appeared before the disappearance of the bride.
Before the what?
The vanishing of the lady.
When did she vanish, then?
At the wedding breakfast.
Indeed. Well, this is more interesting than it promised to be. Quite dramatic, in fact.
Yes, it struck me as being a little out of the common.
And they often vanish before the ceremony and occasionally during the honeymoon. But I cannot call to mind anything quite so prompt as this. But there's a ring at the bell. And as the clock makes it a few minutes after 4, I have no doubt that this will prove to be our noble client. No, don't dream of going, Watson. I very much prefer having a witness, if only as a check to my own memory. I wouldn't have missed this case for words.
Lord Robert St. Simon.
Good day, Lord St. Simon.
Good day, sir.
Oh, pray take the basket chair. This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. I draw off a little for fire, and we shall talk this matter over.
A most painful matter to me, as you can most readily imagine, Mr. Holmes. I have been cut to the quick. I understand you have already managed several delicate cases of this sort, sir, though I presume that they were hardly from the same class of society.
No, I am descending.
I beg your pardon?
My last client of the sort was a king.
Oh, really? I had no idea. And which king?
The king of Scandinavia.
What, has he lost his wife?
You can understand that I extend to the affairs of my other clients the same secrecy which I promised to you in yours.
Of course. Very right, very right. I'm sure I beg your pardon. As to my own case, I am ready to give you any information which may assist you in forming an opinion.
Thank you. I've already learned something of it from the public prints. Nothing more. I think I may arrive at my facts most directly by questioning you.
Pray do so.
Now, when did you first meet Miss Hattie Doran?
In San Francisco, a year ago.
Did you become engaged then?
No.
But you were on a friendly footing.
I was amused by her society, and she could see that I was amused.
Her father is very rich?
He is said to be the richest man on the Pacific slope.
And how did he make his money?
In mining. He had nothing a few years ago. Then he struck gold, invested it, and came up by leaps and bounds. My wife was 20 before her father became a rich man. During that time, she ran free in a mining camp, so that her education has come from nature rather than from the schoolmaster. She is what we call in England, I believe, a tomboy.
Quite.
She is impetuous, volcanic, I was about to say. On the other hand, I would not have given her the name which I have the honor to bear, had I not thought her to be, at bottom, a noble woman.
The young lady came to London then, and you renewed your acquaintance?
Yes. Her father brought her over for this last season. I met her several times. We became engaged. I have now married her.
She brought, I understand, a considerable dowry.
No more than is usual in my family.
And this, of course, remains to you since the marriage is a fait accompli.
I really have made no inquiries on the subject.
Oh, very naturally not. On the morning of the wedding, was she in good spirits?
Never better. She was as bright as possible until after the ceremony.
And did you observe any change in her then?
Well, to tell the truth, I saw then the first signs that her temper was a little sharp. The incident was too trivial to relate. It had no possible bearing on the case.
Pray let us have it for all that.
Oh, it's childish. She dropped her bouquet as we went towards the vestry. She was passing the front pew at the time, and it fell over into the pew. There was a moment's delay, but the gentleman in the pew handed it up to her again. It didn't appear to be the worse for the fall, yet when I spoke to her about it, she answered me abruptly. In the carriage, on our way home, she seemed absurdly agitated over so trifling a cause.
Indeed. You say there was a gentleman in the pew. Some of the general public were present then.
Oh, yes, it's impossible to exclude them when the church is open.
This gentleman was one of your wife's friends?
No, I called him a gentleman by courtesy. He was quite a common-looking person. I hardly noticed his appearance. Really, I think we're wandering rather far from the point.
At any rate, Lady St. Simon returned from the wedding in a less cheerful frame of mind than she had gone to it. What did she do on re-entering her father's house?
I saw her in close conversation with her maid, Alice.
A confidential servant?
A little too much so. She's an American. She came from California with her. It seemed to me that her mistress allowed her to take great liberties. But still, of course, in America, they look upon these things in a different way.
You did not overhear what they said.
Lady St. Simon said something about jumping a claim. She was accustomed to using slang of that kind. I no idea what it meant.
American slang is very expressive sometimes. And what did your wife do next?
She went into the breakfast room.
On your arm?
No, alone. She was very independent in little matters like that. Then, after we had sat down for 10 minutes or so, she rose hurriedly, muttered some words of apology, and left the room. She never came back. Her maid says she went to her room, covered her bride's dress with a long ulster, put on a bonnet, and went out. One of the footmen remembered seeing a lady leave, but he refused to credit that it could have been his mistress. He naturally believed she was inside.
Quite so.
Afterwards, my wife is said to have been seen walking into Hyde Park with the woman who had caused the disturbance earlier on.
The disturbance?
Yes. After we had returned from the church, this woman apparently tried to follow us into the house. She had to be ejected by the butler and the footman.
Yes, but why should she want to force her way?
Well, Mr. Holmes, she claimed that she and I...
Oh.
Well, to tell the truth, her name is Flora Miller. She used to be a danseuse at the Allegro. I have not treated her ungenerously, and she's no just cause for complaint against me, but you know what women are, Mr. Holmes. She wrote me dreadful letters when she heard I was to be married. In fact, the reason I had the marriage celebrated so quietly was because I feared there might be a scandal at the church.
Did your wife hear this disturbance?
No, thank goodness she didn't.
And yet she was seen walking with this very woman afterwards.
Yes, and Mr. Lestrade of Scotland Yard looks upon it as very serious. It is thought that Flora decoyed my wife out and laid some terrible trap for her. I understand that she's now in custody.
Well, it's a possible supposition.
You think so, too? No. I don't think Flora would hurt a fly.
I didn't say a probable one. Still, jealousy is a strange transformer of character. Pray then, Lord St. Simon, what is your own theory as to what took place?
Oh, really? I came to seek a theory, not to propound one. Since you ask me, it has occurred to me that the excitement, the consciousness that she had made so immense a social stride may have caused some little nervous disturbance to my wife.
In short, that she had become suddenly deranged?
Well, when I consider that she has turned her back, I will not say upon me, but upon so much that many have aspired to without reason, I can hardly explain it in any other fashion.
Well, that is certainly a conceivable hypothesis. And now, Lord St. Simon, I think I have nearly all my data. Oh, may I ask whether you and your wife were seated at the breakfast table so that you could see out of the window?
We could see the other side of the road and the park.
Quite so. Then I do not think I need to detain you any longer. I will communicate with you.
Should you be fortunate enough to solve this problem.
Oh, I have solved it.
What was that?
I say I have solved it.
Where, then, is my wife?
That is a detail which I shall speedily supply.
I am afraid it will take wiser heads than yours and mine. Good day to you, gentlemen.
Good day, sir. It's very good of Lord St. Simon to honour my head by putting it on a level with his own. Well, I think I shall have a whiskey and soda and a cigar after all that cross-questioning.
Good.
I had formed my conclusions as to the case before our account was nearly done.
My dear Holmes.
I have notes of several similar cases, though, as I remarked before, none of them were quite as prompt. My whole examination has turned my conjecture into a certainty. Circumstantial evidence is occasionally very convincing.
Yes, I've heard all you've heard.
Without, however, the knowledge of pre-existing cases which serves me so well.
Mm-hmm.
There was a parallel instance in Aberdeen some years back, and there was something on very much the same lines at Munich, the year after the Franco-Prussian War. It's one of these cases. Oh, but hello, here is Lestrade. You'll find an extra tumbler on the sideboard, and there are cigars in the box, Lestrade.
Well, thank you. Evening, Dr. Watson. Evening, Inspector.
Well, what's up, then? You look dissatisfied.
I feel dissatisfied. It's this infernal St. Simon marriage case. I can't make head nor tail of the business.
Really? You surprised me. Oh, do sit down.
Whoever heard of such a mixed affair? Every clue seems to slip through my fingers. I've been at work on it all day.
And very wet it seems to have made you.
Well, I've been dragging the Serpentine.
In heaven's name, what for?
Looking for the body of Lady St. Simon.
Have you dragged the basin of the Trafalgar Square fountain?
Why? What do you mean?
Because you've just as good a chance of finding this lady there as in the Serpentine.
I suppose you know all about it.
Well, I've only just heard the facts, but my mind is made up.
Oh, indeed. Then you think that the Serpentine plays no part in the matter?
I think it very unlikely.
Then perhaps you'll kindly explain how it is we found these near it. I have them here in my bag. Here, there's a little nut for you to crack, Master Holmes.
Oh, indeed. See, Watson? A wedding dress, white satin shoes, and a bride's wreath and veil.
And a wedding ring.
You dragged these from the Serpentine?
No. They were found near the bank by a parkkeeper. They were identified as her clothes. It seemed to me that if the clothes were there, the body wouldn't be far off.
By the same brilliant reasoning, every man's body is to be found in the neighbourhood of his wardrobe. And pray, what did you hope to arrive at through this?
Some evidence implicating Flora Miller in the disappearance.
I'm afraid you'll find it difficult.
Are you indeed now? And I'm afraid, Mr. Holmes, that you're not very practical with your deductions and your inference. This dress does implicate Miss Flora Miller.
And how?
In the dress is a pocket. In the pocket is a card case. In the card case is a note. Now listen to this. You will see me when all is ready. Come at once. F.H.M. Now, my theory all along has been that Lady St. Simon was decoyed away by Flora Miller, no doubt with Confederates. Her initials were on this note. It was no doubt slipped into the bride's hand at the door, and it lured her into their reach.
Very good, Lestrade. You know, you really are very fine indeed. Do let me see it. This is indeed important.
Oh, you find it so?
Extremely. I congratulate you warmly.
Well, then, you're looking on the wrong side.
On the contrary, this is the right side.
The right side? You're mad. The note is written in pencil on the back.
Quite. And over here is what appears to be a fragment of a hotel bill. It interests me deeply.
Oh, there's nothing in that. I looked at it before. I've seen nothing in there.
Very likely not. It's most important all the same. As to the note, it's important also, or at least the initials are. So I congratulate you again.
Oh, I've wasted time enough. I believe in hard work, not sitting by the fire spinning theories. We shall see who gets to the bottom of this first. Oh, good day, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, just one hint to you, Lestrade. I will tell you the true solution of this matter. Lady St. Simon is a myth. There is not, and there has never been any such person.
You're mad. Mad.
Yeah, but there is something in what the fellow says about outdoor work, I think, Watson. I must leave you to your papers for a little while. Well, well, Watson. They've laid the supper in my absence, I see.
Well, I didn't know what it was all about. A confectioner's man came and set it all out. Cold woodcock, pheasant, petted de foie gras pie. Some rather exciting-looking bottles. Said they'd been paid for and ordered to this address.
Capital.
It's laid for 5. You seem to expect company.
Yes, I fancy we may have some company dropping in. I'm surprised Lord St. Simon has not already arrived. I fancy I hear his step on the stairs now. Oh, so my message reached you then, Lord St. Simon.
Yes, and I must confess, the contents startled me beyond measure. Have you good authority for what you say?
The best possible.
What will the Duke say? What's he to think when he hears that one of the family has been subjected to such humiliation?
It's the purest accident.
You look on these things in a very different way.
I can hardly see how the lady could have acted otherwise. Her abrupt method of doing it was undoubtedly to be regretted. But having no mother, she had no one to advise her at such a crisis.
It was a slight, sir. A public slight.
You must make allowance for this poor girl, placed in so unprecedented a position.
I will make no allowance. I am very angry indeed. I have been shamefully used.
There's the bell. If I cannot persuade you to take a lenient view, Lord St. Simon, I have brought an advocate here who may be more successful. Come in, please do. Lord St. Simon, allow me to introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Francis A. Moulton. The lady I think you have already met.
Good Lord.
Howdy.
You're angry, Robert. Oh, well, I guess you've every cause to be.
Pray make no apology to me.
Oh, yeah, I know I treated you real bad. I should have spoken to you before I went, but, well, I was kind of rattled. From the time I saw Frank here again, I just didn't know what I was doing or saying. I only wonder I didn't fall down into a faint right there before the altar.
Mrs. Moulton, perhaps you would like my friend and me to leave the room while you explain this matter.
If I may give an opinion, we've had just a little too much secrecy over this matter already.
Oh, very
For
good.
my part, I'd like all Europe and America to hear the rights of it.
Then I'll tell our story right away. Frank and I met in 81 in McQuire's camp, near the Rockies where Pa was working a claim. We were engaged, Frank and I, but one day Pa struck a rich pocket and made a pile, while poor Frank here had a claim that came to nothing. The richer Pa grew, the poorer Frank got. So at last Pa wouldn't hear of our engagement lasting any longer, and he took me away to Frisco. Frank wouldn't throw in his hand, though.
You bet.
Frank followed me, and he saw me without Pa knowing. He said he'd go back and he'd make his pile, too, and he wouldn't come to claim me till he had as much as Pa. So I promised I'd wait for him till the end of time and not to marry anyone else as long as he lived.
So I said, why shouldn't we be married straight away then? Then I'll feel sure of you. But I won't claim to be your husband till I come back. Well, we talked it over, see, and we just went to a clergyman and did it right there.
Good Lord.
Well, the next I heard of Frank, he was in Montana, and then in New Mexico. And then there was a newspaper story about how a miners' camp had been attacked by Apache Indians, and there was Frank's name among the killed. I was sick for months. But there was never another word of Frank after that.
Well, you see,
Hold on, dear. Well, I felt all the time that no man on this earth could ever take Frank's place in my heart. But I meant to make Robert just as good a wife as it was in me to be. Oh, you imagine what I felt first as I came to the altar rails. There was Frank, standing, looking at me out of the first pew. Well, I thought it was his ghost at first. I looked again, and there he was still, with a kind of a question in his eyes. Oh, well, I didn't know if to stop the service and make a scene in the church. What the clergyman was saying was just like a bee buzzing in my ears.
I scribbled her a note?
Yeah, and on the way out again, I saw the piece of paper in his hand, and I knew it was for me. So I passed the pew, and I dropped my bouquet over, and he slipped the note into my hand when he gave it back.
You never doubted for a moment that your first duty now was to him.
Well, of course. Well, I told my maid to say nothing, get a few things packed. I'd made up my mind to run away and explain afterwards. Well, I hadn't been at the table 10 minutes when I saw Frank out in the road, and I slipped out and I followed him into the park. Some woman came up talking something about Lord St. Simon, but I managed to get away from her. I caught up with Frank, and we took a cab to his place in Gordon Square, and that was my true wedding after all those years.
You see, I'd been a prisoner with those Apaches all the time.
When I got back to Frisco, I saw in a paper about this other wedding. I just got to England in time.
Frank was all for being open and telling what had happened.
Yeah.
But I was so ashamed, thinking of all those lords and ladies waiting at that table for me to come back. So Frank took my wedding things and he dropped them anywhere in the park. He thought they wouldn't be found. We were off to Paris, France tomorrow, only this gentleman, Mr. Holmes, came around.
Yes.
Well, Robert, you've heard it all. I'm very sorry if I've given you any pain. I hope you don't think very meanly of me.
Excuse me, but it isn't my custom to discuss my most intimate personal affairs in this public manner.
Oh, then you won't forgive me? You won't shake hands before I go?
Oh, certainly, if it'll give you any pleasure.
I had hoped that you would have joined us in a friendly supper.
I think that there you ask a little too much. I may be forced to acquiesce in these recent developments. I can hardly be expected to make merry over them. I think that, with your permission, I will now wish you all a very good night.
Then I trust that you, at least, will honor us with your company, Mr. and Mrs. Moulton. It is always a joy to meet an American, Mr. Moulton.
Well, that's nice of you, Mr. Holmes.
Well, Watson, the case has been an interesting one.
Yes.
It shows how simple the explanation may be of an affair which seems almost inexplicable at first sight.
You had no doubt, then?
From the first, two facts were obvious to me. One was that the lady was quite willing to undergo the marriage ceremony. The other was that she had repented of it within a few minutes of returning home. But she could not have spoken to anyone when she was out, for she'd been in the company of the bridegroom. Had she seen someone then? If she had, it must have been someone from America. Then who could this American be? He might be a lover, he might be a husband. For instance, Simon told us of a man in the pew and the change in her manner and that transparent device of dropping her bouquet. Well, it all became absolutely clear. Especially in view of that allusion of hers to claim jumping, which in miners' talk means taking possession of that which another person has a prior claim to. It was clear to me that she'd gone off for the man, and the chances were in favor of his being a husband.
And how in the world did you find them?
Friend Lestrade held information in his hands and didn't know the value of it. The initials on the note were of the highest importance, of course, but it was more valuable still to know that within a week the man had settled his bill at one of the most select London hotels.
But how did you deduce the select?
By the select prices. 8 shillings for a bed and 8p for a glass of sherry pointed to one of the most expensive hotels. Well, there are not many in London which charge at that rate.
Thank goodness.
In the second one I visited in Northumberland Avenue, I learned by an inspection of the book that Francis H. Moulton, an American gentleman, had left only the day before. On looking over the entries against him, I came upon the very items I'd seen in the duplicate bill. His letters were to be forwarded to 226 Gordon Square, so thither I travelled. The loving couple were fortunately at home, and I ventured to give them some paternal advice. I invited them to meet Lord St. Simon here, and to make their position a little clearer.
Yes, with no very good results. His conduct was certainly not very gracious.
Oh, my dear Watson, perhaps you would not be very gracious either, if after all the trouble of wooing and wedding, you found yourself deprived in an instant of wife and fortune.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now, I think we may judge Lord St. Simon very mercifully, and thank our stars that we're never likely to find ourselves in the same position. Now, draw up your chair. Oh, and hand me my tobacco.
In The Noble Bachelor by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the part of Sherlock Holmes was played by Carlton Hobbs, Dr. Watson by Norman Shelley, Lord St. Simon by William Edel, and Lestrade by Frederick Treves. The story was adapted for radio by Michael Hardwick and produced in London by Frederick Bradnam.
This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invite you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective, Sherlock Holmes. You know something? I had an adventure tonight I wish you could have shared with me. I had a steak about, an inch and a half thick, tender, juicy, and with it I had a glass of Petri California Burgundy. Now there's a combination, steak and Petri Burgundy. That Petri Burgundy is a perfect mealtime wine. It's a rich red wine that's hearty and full of flavor. Flavor that comes right from the heart of the grape. And don't think that Petri Burgundy is only good with steak. It'll make a hamburger sandwich taste like a feast, too. Try Petri Burgundy with any meat or meat dish. It's just wonderful. And serve it proudly, too, because after all, the name Petri is the proudest name in the history of American wines. And now I know Dr. Watson's waiting for us, so let's go in and join him.
Come in.
Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, Mr. Bartell. You're quite muffled up tonight, I see. Overcoat, scarf, and gloves. Slip them off and come and join me by the fire.
Thanks, Doctor. It's quite a nip in the air tonight.
Yes, there is indeed.
Well, Doctor, you told us last week that tonight's story centered around the activities of a brilliant and beautiful woman.
Yes, my boy. Her name was Irene Adler. But I never knew Holmes refer to her by any other name than the woman.
She sounds mighty intriguing. How did you happen to meet up with her?
Well, I'll tell you the story from the beginning. One night, it was on the 20th of May in 1888, to be exact, I was returning home from a visit to a patient when my steps led me through Baker Street. Since my marriage, I hadn't seen much of Sherlock Holmes.
And you couldn't resist stopping by at 221B, I'm sure, Doctor.
Of course I couldn't. As I stood outside the well-remembered door, I looked up at the lighted windows and saw the tall, spare figure of my old friend, pass twice in dark silhouette against the blind. He was pacing the room swiftly, eagerly, with his head sunk on his chest and his hands clasped behind him. To me, who knew every mood of his and habit of his attitude and manner told their own story. He was hot on the scent of some new problem. I rang the bell, and a few moments later, found myself standing before him.
You look in splendid shape.
Yes, Holmes, I'm feeling very well, thanks.
And in practice again, I see. You didn't tell me that you'd gone back into harness.
Oh, and how did you know?
Elementary, my dear chap. If a gentleman walks into my rooms smelling of iodoform with a black mark of nitrate of silver on his right forefinger and a bulge on the left side of his hat to show where he's secreted his stethoscope, I should be dull indeed if I didn't pronounce him to be an active member of the medical profession.
Just the same as ever, Holmes. By the way, I'm not interrupting you.
Well, you are, old fellow, but it's a most welcome interruption.
You're working on a new case?
It looks like it. This letter arrived by the last post today. It's undated and has neither signature nor address. Read it.
Let's have a look. There will call upon you tonight at 7:45 a gentleman who desires to consult you upon a matter of the very deepest moment. Your recent services to one of the royal houses of Europe have shown that you are one who may safely be trusted. This account of you we have from all quarters received. Be in your chamber, then, at that hour, and do not take it amiss if your visitor wears a mask. Great Scott, it's all very mysterious. What do you imagine it means?
Look carefully at the note, old fellow. What do you deduce from it?
Oh, now, let me think. Well, the man who wrote it was presumably well-to-do. Such paper couldn't be bought under half a crown a packet. And it's peculiarly strong and stiff.
Peculiar. That's the very word. It's not an English paper at all. Hold it up to the light. Don't you notice anything?
Yes. There's a large E with a small G and a large G with a small T.
That's right.
Woven into the texture of the paper.
What does that suggest you?
The name of the maker, no doubt, or perhaps his monogram.
Not at all, my dear fellow. The G with the small T stands for Gesellschaft, which is the German for company.
And the EG?
That stands for Igria. It's a German-speaking country in Bohemia, not far from Carlsbad.
Oh, the paper was made in Bohemia.
Undoubtedly, my dear fellow. And the man who wrote the note is a German.
How do you know that?
Observe the curious construction of the sentence. This account of you we have from all quarters received. A Frenchman or a Russian could not have written that. It's the German who is so discourteous to his words.
Oh, there's your count now. I better go home.
No, unless you have to.
Well, I could stay. I thought that...
Then stay, old chap. I'm lost without my Boswell, and this box is to be interesting. I told Mrs. Hudson to let the masked visitor come upstairs unannounced. Come in. Good evening, sir.
You received my note?
Yes, indeed, sir. Come in, won't you? Sit down. This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. You may say anything before him that you can say to me. Whom have I the honor to address?
You may address me as Count von Kram.
How do you do, sir?
You must excuse this mask that I wear. The august person who employs me wishes his agent to be unknown to you, and I may confess at once that the title by which I have just called myself is not exactly my own.
I'm well aware of that fact, sir.
You see, Mr. Holmes, the matter I am about to discuss implicates the great house of Ormstein, hereditary kings of Bohemia.
That has not escaped me either, sir. In fact, if you will state your case, I shall be the better able to advise you. Your Majesty.
How did you... Yes. Yes, I am the king. Why should I attempt to conceal it?
Why, indeed?
I shall remove the mask. There. Mr. Holmes, I have traveled incognito from Prague for the express purpose of consulting you.
Then pray consult.
Briefly, the facts are these. Some 5 years ago, during a visit to Warsaw, I made the acquaintance of the well-known adventuress Irene Adler.
Irene Adler? We know of her, Your Majesty.
Look her up in the index for me, will you, Watson? It's right beside you on the desk there.
I imagined that the name would not be unfamiliar to you.
Here we are. Abrahams, Acton Green, Hatchet Murders. Adler.
Splendid, old fellow. Hand me the file, will you? Thank you. Irene Adler, born in New Jersey in the United States in 1858. Contralto. Prima donna, Imperial Opera of Warsaw. Retired from the operatic stage. Living in London. Quite so. And here's a recent notation. Your Majesty, as I understand, became entangled with this young person, wrote her some compromising letters, and is now desirous of getting those letters back.
Precisely so, but how did...
Was there a secret marriage?
None.
No legal papers or certificates?
No.
Then I fail to follow, Your Majesty. If this young lady should produce her letters for blackmailing purposes, how is she to prove their authenticity?
It's the handwriting.
That could be a forgery, Your Majesty.
But it was private note paper.
Stolen.
My own seal.
Imitated.
My photograph.
Bought.
What? They were both in the photograph.
Oh, dear. It's very bad. Your Majesty has indeed committed an indiscretion.
Did you inscribe the photograph, Your Majesty?
Yes, Dr. Watson, I'm afraid I did. Mr. Holmes, it must be recovered.
Perhaps if you were to pay enough, the photograph might be bought.
She refuses to sell.
Stolen, then?
5 attempts have been made. Twice burglars in my pay ransacked her house. Once we diverted her luggage when she traveled. Twice she has been waylaid. There has been no result.
Dear. It's quite a pretty little problem.
It is a deadly serious one to me.
Your Majesty, what does Miss Adler intend to do with the photograph?
To ruin me.
Oh, how?
Well, I'm about to be married to the second daughter of the King of Scandinavia. She is the soul of delicacy. A shadow of a doubt as to my conduct would bring the matter to an end.
And Irene Adler threatens to send the photograph to your fiancé, I suppose.
Yes, and she will do it. Rather than let me marry another woman, there are no lengths to which she would not go. None.
Are you sure that she not already sent it, Your Majesty?
I am sure.
Now, why, Your Majesty?
She said that she would send it on the day my betrothal is publicly announced. That day will be next Monday.
Splendid. Then we have still 3 days yet. Your Majesty will, of course, stay in London for the present.
Certainly. You will find me at the Langham Hotel, registered as Count von Kram.
Just 2 questions before you leave, sir.
What are they?
Is the photograph large or small?
Quite large. And it was in a heavy frame.
I see. And what is Miss Irene Adler's London address?
Briony Lodge, 17 Avenue, St. John's Wood.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Good night, and I trust we shall soon have some good news for you.
I am placing all my hopes in you, Mr. Holmes. Good night. Good night, Dr. Watson.
Good night, Your Majesty. Fascinating problem, Holmes. I wish I could help you with it.
You can, my dear chap. Huh? I shall be glad of your company.
Oh, splendid. What's our first move, Holmes?
Well, a good night's rest, I think. We'll meet here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And then?
Then, my dear fellow, we will see what we can find out about Miss Irene Adler, late of the Warsaw Imperial Opera Company and at present residing at Briony Lodge, Serpentine Avenue, St. John's Wood.
Well, Holmes, a cursory examination of Brownie Lodge didn't prove very illuminating.
No, a bijou residence that represents the essence of dignified suburbia, but tells us very little about its owner. I think a visit to the local public house might prove more instructive. Come on, old chap. I see the door to the Coach and Horses inviting us from across the road.
Well, our disguises shouldn't cause any suspicion,
That's
Holmes.
why I suggested them. In the character of a couple of stable hands, I felt that we might inspire confidence. This is a horsey neighborhood. There's a wonderful sympathy and freemasonry among the fraternity. There we are. Better let me do most of the talking.
Yes, I will indeed. I'm sure that your accent will be more convincing than mine.
Let's go, Audrey.
Well, what'll it be, mateys?
Half of Old and Mild, please. How about you, Charlie?
All of sight?
Yeah. 2 halves of Old and Mild. Well, here you are, mateys. That'll be a tenner.
Have a drink with us, Governor.
Well, don't mind if I do. I'll have a Guinness. You blokes new round here?
Yes, that's right. Came over from Clapham.
Clapham, eh? Well, here's looking at you. Hunting for jobs?
That's right. We was told that Miss Idler, of course, at Brownie Lodge, needed a new coachman and a groom.
Well, it's the first I've heard of it. It might be true. Have you been over there to ask?
No, not yet. We thought we'd find out something about the old girl first.
She ain't no old girl, matey. She's the prettiest young thing you ever saw under a bonnet, and that's a fact.
You know her, Governor?
Why, of course I know her. Used to drive the carriage, I did. Before I came to work here.
Oh, what's she like?
Oh, nice little lady as you'll find, chum.
Work hard?
No. She lives quiet, like. Goes out singing at concerts once in a while. The rest of the time it's money for jam. She goes out for a drive in the park every day at 5 and comes back to dinner at 6:30. The rest of the time's your own.
She ain't married, you say?
No. But she's got a bloke what comes to see her all the time. He's a barrister. Nice gentleman. Mr. Geoffrey Norton is his name. Good-looking fella. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get spliced.
Sounds like a cushy job to me. Come on, Charlie. Let's get over to the house and see what's what. Much obliged to you, chum.
Well, good luck, mateys, and thanks for the dinners.
What's our next move, Holmes?
Let's stroll back to Brownie Lodge. I'm undecided whether to continue my investigation there or to try and find out something about Mr. Geoffrey Norton, the barrister. If he's just her lawyer and nothing else, it's more than likely that she's entrusted the photograph to his safekeeping.
Hello. There's a cab waiting outside Miss Adler's house.
Hurry, Watson. Maybe Mr. Norton's.
Here we are at the gate.
Yes. Here comes a man hurrying down the pathway. Quick. Flatten yourself behind this post. Listen.
Where to now, Mr. Norton?
Drive like the devil. First to St. Hankey's in Regent Street, and then to the Church of St. Monica in the Edgware Road. Half a sovereign if you do it in 20 minutes.
Right, sir, Mr. Norton. Up in.
Fire and signal the cab, Watson. We must follow him.
Well, here comes one. Oh, it isn't. It's a private carriage.
It's Artless, no doubt. Here she comes on the pathway. Back behind the post again, Watson.
Where to, Miss Adler?
The Church of St. Monica's, John, and half a sovereign if you reach it in 20 minutes.
The dame's afoot, Watson, quick. We must get a cab and follow them.
Here comes a hansom. Hi, cabby! Here!
You blokes got enough money to take a cab?
Here's a half sovereign for you, my man.
Right, sir. Where to, Governor?
The Church of St. Monica, in the Edgware Road, and another half sovereign for you if you get us there in 20 minutes.
We'll hear the rest of Dr. Watson's story in just a second, but let me tell you something. If you're going to have chicken for dinner tomorrow night, or any night, don't forget to serve that chicken with Petri California Sauterne. Believe me, Petri Sauterne is just about the last word in white wines. It's beautifully golden in color, it's delicate and intriguing in flavor, and it's just Well, you taste it and see for yourself. If you want a delicious white wine, you certainly want a Petri Sauterne. Well, Doctor, once again, you broke off your story at the most exciting point. Did you and Sherlock Holmes reach that church inside the 20 minutes?
Yes, Mr. Bartell, we did, but the other carriages were there before us. Holmes went into the church after telling me to guard the outside. I must have waited for 10 minutes or more before Mr. Geoffrey Norton and Miss Adler came out, spoke a few words to each other, and then left in their separate conveyances. A moment later, Holmes, still dressed as a stable hand, came striding out of the church and down the steps towards me. He was obviously very excited.
What? Have they left?
Yes, in separate cabs. I overheard him say that he was going back to his office. And she said, I shall drive out in the park at 5 this evening.
Splendid, old fellow. Then come on. We can return to Baker Street.
What happened inside the church, Holmes?
They were married.
Married?
Of course. The ceremony would have been illegal if it had been performed after noon. That accounted for their wild dash to the church. Jump into the cab.
Where to now, Governor?
221B Baker Street.
Oh, so they got married, eh?
Yes, and it may amuse you to know that I acted as witness at the ceremony.
Oh, you did? But how did that happen?
Their own witness had failed to appear, and I was dragged into the breach. The bride gave me the sovereign as a memento. I think I'll wear it on my watch chain in memory of the occasion.
What an amazing situation. Things begin to look better for the king, don't they?
Yes.
Now that she's Mrs. Norton, the chances are that she won't want to expose His Majesty after all.
I hope so, Watson, I hope so. But we can't afford to take any chances. I think the time is right for us to come to closer grips with the lady.
Well, Holmes, now that we've eaten, perhaps you'll tell me a plan.
With pleasure, my dear fellow. And while I'm so doing, I'll proceed with applying the makeup of my new disguise.
Another disguise? What's it to be this time?
I think the character and appearance of an amiable and simple-minded nonconformist clergyman would be most suited to my plan for entering Miss Adler's house.
Oh, you're going to try and enter them?
I must, dear fellow. Yes, I'm sure the photograph is there. Miss Adler, or rather Mrs. Norton, will return from her drive and park at 6:30. We must be at Bryony Lodge to meet her.
And what then?
You must leave that to me. I've already made my arrangements. There is only one point on which I must insist. You must not interfere, come what may. You understand?
I'm to remain neutral.
Yes, there will be some small unpleasantness. Don't join in it. It will end in my being conveyed into the house. As soon as I'm able to, I shall open one of the windows. You are to watch from the outside. When I raise my hand, you will throw an object which I shall give you through the window and at the same time cry, fire. Follow me?
Entirely, but what am I to throw?
Oh, it's nothing very formidable. Here it is.
Huh, looks like a great big cigar. What is it?
Just an ordinary plumber's smoke rocket, fitted with a cap at each end to make it self-lighting. Your task is confined to throwing it through the window. When you raise the cry, fire, it will be taken up by quite a number of people. You will then walk to the end of the street, and I'll rejoin you in 10 minutes. I hope I've made myself clear.
Perfectly.
Good. And now, old fellow, as soon as I've donned my clerical attire, let's be on our way. There's no time to be lost.
It's nearly 6:30, Holmes. We've been pacing up and down in front of her house for half an hour now. I hope she does come back.
I'm sure she will.
There seem to be a lot of loafers hanging round her gate.
All part of my conspiracy, old chap. You'll see them play their parts in a few minutes.
You still think the photograph is inside the house?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Hmm?
It's most unlikely that she carries it about with her. Remember, the king told us it was a large frame picture. And also remember that she planned to use it within a few days. It must be where she can lay her hands on it. It must be inside her house.
Her house has been burgled twice.
They don't know how to look.
Well, how will you look?
I won't. I'll get her to show me.
She'll refuse.
No, she won't be able to. Get up to the cage now. Remember, Watson, carry out my orders to the letter.
Yes, you can trust me, Holmes.
Blimey, here comes the Duchess of Fiddleway. Let's put out the carpet. She might get her tootsies wet.
Oh, put a sock in it, Alfie.
Leave him alone. She's no better than she ought to be.
Please let me through. I live here.
Well, ain't that nice? We'll all come in and have a cup of cocoa.
Move out of the way, please, and let the lady through.
Mind your own business. Just because your collar's turned the wrong way, you can't spoil our fun. That's right, it is. Keep your nose out, Parson.
Oh, please, don't fight about it.
I tell you to stop molesting the lady.
Do ya? Then how would you like a biff in the nose?
Oh, he hit the poor man. Then he ran away, the coward. Is the clergyman badly hurt?
He hit his head, Mum, and he fell. If you ask me, he's hurt bad. He's bleeding something terrible. Can we bring him in, Mum? He can't lie here in the street.
Why, of course. Bring him in.
Right you are, Mum. Here, Bert. Right out. Give us a hand. Anyway.
Oh, poor fella. Did you see what happened to him, mister?
Yes, I saw my good woman. A very convincing demonstration.
What you mean?
Weren't you paid by a certain gentleman for this performance?
Oh, Yen knows about it, too. You must be a friend of Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, I am.
Nice gentleman. He give us $5 apiece for tonight work. It ain't through yet, though. We got to start yelling pow when somebody tells us.
I'm that somebody, my dear lady. Where's Mr. Holmes now? He's inside the house.
Yes, he's up near the window.
Now he's raising his hand. That's my signal. Now to throw the rocket. There we are. Ha! Holmes, there you are. You have the photograph?
No. But I know what it is. She showed me, as I told you she would.
I'm still in the dark.
There's no mystery, old chap. When my accomplices started around the street, I had a little moist red paint in my hand. As my good friend Alfie pretended to strike me, I clapped my hand to my head and fell down. It's no trick.
Yes, I understand that, but how did my throwing the rocket help you?
It was all important, my dear fellow. When a woman thinks her home is on fire, her instinct is at once to rush to the thing she values most. A married woman grabs her baby. An unmarried reaches for her jewel box. In this case, of course, it was the photograph.
Well, where was it?
In a recess in the living room, just above the right-hand bell pull. I caught a glimpse of it as she half drew it out. When I made it known that the fire was a false alarm, she replaced the photograph. As soon as I was able, I assured her that I was feeling well enough to leave.
You didn't take the photograph, then?
No, I felt that over-precipitance at this stage might ruin everything.
And what do we do now?
Drive to the Langham Hotel and inform His Majesty of what has happened, then return with him here. After that, my dear chap, the case will be ended.
This is Barney Lodge now, Your Majesty.
I'm all impatience. Yourself and this photograph will still be there, Mr. Holmes. I have every reason to believe so, Your Majesty. I must confess, this is going to be something of an ordeal. And I suggest that you let me do the talking, Your Majesty. I think I know how to handle the lady.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I believe.
Yes. I am Mr. Holmes. How did you know?
My mistress told me that you would be likely to call. She has left for the continent with her husband.
You mean she's left England?
Never to return.
Then the papers, the photograph. All is lost, Mr. Holmes. We'll soon see. Follow me.
She said you've been looking for something. I hope you find it.
This was the bell pull. There's a sliding panel behind it somewhere. Here it is. Is the photograph there, Mr. Holmes? There is a photograph, but it's a photograph of the lady alone. Here's a letter, and it's addressed to me.
Well, what's it say, Holmes?
My dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, you really did it very well. Until after the fire alarm, I had no suspicion. But then, when I realized how I had betrayed myself, I began to think. I'd been warned that if the king employed an agent, it would certainly be you. May I congratulate you on your disguise as the dear old clergyman?
Great Scott, he was far more clever than you thought, Holmes.
Yeah, go on. What else does it say? Let me see. My husband and I both thought that the best recourse was flight. So you will find the nest empty. As to the photograph of the king and yourself, His Majesty may rest in peace. Thank goodness for that. I love and am loved by a better man than he. I leave another photograph, however, that you might care to possess. And I remain, dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, very truly yours, Irene Norton, née Adler. What a woman, Watson. What a woman. What a magnificent woman. She fooled me completely. But, I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I've been unable to bring your business to a more successful conclusion.
On the contrary, my dear sir, nothing could be more successful. I know that Irene's word is inviolate. The incriminating photograph is now as safe as if it were in the fire.
I'm glad to hear Your Majesty say so.
I am immensely indebted to you. Now, pray tell me in what way I can reward you. This beryl ring that I wear, I should be proud
Your Majesty has something that I should value even more highly.
You have but to name it.
This photograph.
Irene's photograph?
But certainly. However, you must let me give you something more substantial.
Oh, no, Your Majesty. This is something I shall treasure all my life. This and a golden sovereign I received from the lady's hand. They will remind me that I was once tricked by a woman. A woman that I shall never forget.
What a woman, that Mrs. Adler. Or should I say, Mrs. Norton. That's the kind of woman I could really go for, Doctor.
Yes, you could. Just between ourselves, I sort of, I sort of could go for her myself.
She was intelligent.
Yes, she was rich.
Beautiful. That's the kind of woman you want sitting next to you in front of a cozy fire on a nippy fall night. Just the three of you.
The three of you?
Mm-hmm. You, she, and a glass of Petri port.
Miss Bartelli.
Why not? That Petri California port is some wine. Why, that Petri family really knows how to make good wine, all right. And no wonder. Look at all the experience they've had. Ever since they started the Petri business way back in the 1800s, the Petri family has handed down from father to son, the art of selecting perfect sun-ripened California grapes and making them into clear, fragrant, delicious wine. Those letters, P-E-T-R-I, on the label of every bottle of Petri wine are the personal assurance of the Petri family that every drop of wine in that bottle is good wine. It's got to be, because Petri took time to bring you good wine. Well, Dr. Watson, that was a great story you told us tonight.
I thought you'd like it, Mr. Bartell. That's why I plan to tell you a sequel to it next week.
A sequel? Say, that sounds exciting, Doctor.
Oh, I think you'll find that it proves to be that, Mr. Bartell. It's a story that takes place 20 years after tonight's adventure. And once again, the principal part is played by a woman, only in this case, it isn't Irene Adler. It's her daughter. Oh, and now, Mr. Bartell, before I go, I want to remind our listeners that they owe a real debt of gratitude to selective service boards in their communities. At this moment, those selective service boards are working harder than ever, making sure that every returning veteran knows his rights and privileges. And the boards are helping him take full advantage of those rights and privileges. And they're helping our veterans get jobs. Our selective service boards deserve our sincere thanks, and they deserve our cooperation. They have done, and they are doing, a splendid job.
Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure was written by Dennis Green and Anthony Butcher and is an adaptation of the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, A Scandal in Bohemia. Music is by Dean Fossler. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petri Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invite you to tune in again next week, same time, same station. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is Harry Bartell saying good night for the Petri family. For a solid hour of exciting mystery dramas, listen every Monday on most of these same stations at 8 o'clock to Michael Shayne, followed immediately by Sherlock Holmes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.